So we are live on both ends, Facebook and Zoom. Those of you on Zoom, as you all know, you can ask questions at any time you'd like. So you're in the chat and the chat is private, FYI. No one can see you but you, or I should say it, but me. I'm Dawn Thompson and welcome to the Truth Tribe. Those of you who are new and those of you who have been with me for the last several years, we're going on a long time here. I just want to tell you thank you for being here. I'm blessed and grateful that you were present. I am grateful for your presence, and I want you to know that I love you all and that you are all perfect in every possible way. There is nothing wrong with you, and that every time I go up on the grid, I pour pink hearts out on all of you. So put your hands out every morning and just put your hands out to receive all the hearts of love, because I love you very much. And with that love, I'm going to share the love of the universe tonight, because we have a planetary update. I'm not going to go lengthy on it because it's affecting all of you in other ways. So I'm going to share all this and then we'll just keep moving on. Okay. So I just want to be very clear. Okay. I know all of you knowing that I understand astrology and I bring it up a lot, and I don't bring it up because I think a lot of us want to use things, right? We want to use the planets. We want to use the universe. We want to use people. We want to use excuses of why things are the way they are. So I just want you to remember one thing. When we go into this planetary update, remember that the planets are just mirrors of the cosmos, and you are the cosmos because you are energy and you are one with the universe. The universe is you, okay? They cannot affect you, good or bad, that they're only information that are basically giving you a map of basically like sunshine and boulders, right? Like, where are the boulders that we kind of need to take a road trip or take a detour or go somewhere around it, or there's sunshine and going, oh, this is going to be feeling good, or this is why this is going to be a good time for this to happen. That's all it is. Okay, so I just want you to remember that the planets aren't doing anything to you. They just have an energy, and it's why certain things feel a certain way, so you don't feel off and go, what's wrong with you? Nothing. You're perfect. So tonight, full moon, guys, I'll see, some of you may have seen it last night, but today it's actually full moon in Scorpio. Full moon, as you all know, is the time for closure. Closure is filling up the moon, and it's putting closure to energy to the last several time period of about 2 weeks. But full moons and new moons always last whatever energy and intentions you make for about 6-month energy, okay? Scorpio also is the energy of secrets, sex, death, regeneration, rebirth, and transformation. Okay, so it's a water sign, and it's in a watery planet of the moons. So there's a lot of feelings going on right now, a lot of feelings being brought up and experiencing, and certain signs are going to feel them a little bit more than others. As well as, you might want to check out where Scorpio is. If you know your personal natal chart, check and see what house or sign, or what house and energy is holding of that house where Scorpio sits. You'll know where you're feeling it. So with Scorpio full moon, it's good time to release guilt, allowing yourself to be seen, being vulnerable, energy, sharing secrets, focusing on what you want, healing your body. It's a really good time for beginnings, fertility. Scorpio is a sign of sex and the sexual organs of the body, right? And so it's a good time to get pregnant. So those of you who don't want to get pregnant, watch it. Growth, spirituality, they all represent Scorpio, okay? And so this is a time where you guys can expect emotional shakeups or drama or unexpected shifts happening. Possibly maybe just down to the simplistic aspect of shaking up maybe just your daily routine could go, kind of gets tripped up, right? Scorpio in our birth chart, yes, just your birth chart. You'll see it in the transit chart as well, but if Scorpio's in your birth chart, wherever it sits, that's the house it'll affect. Gotcha? Okay. The thing that's going to come up, guys, right now with Scorpio energy, because it likes secrets, it likes to keep things in the dark. All you need to figure out is energetically, it's going to bring up buried emotions that have been buried for a long time. I call them secrets, right? Because we don't want to tell people about that stuff. They're resurfacing so you can replace them with self-love and self-worth, okay? And self-worth intention. So this is an excellent time for shadow work or shadow beast, which I'm going to repeat throughout this call. So shadow work and looking within and seeing all those secret repressed hurts and emotions and bring them to light for healing. Okay. And so the full moon is the best time for burning any words or intentions to help you honor that feeling that's coming up. We don't have to be upset or scared or, oh no, here it is again, right? So just bring it up, write it down, and burn those intentions, right? Write it down so that way you're not projecting it onto others. Okay. It's a healthier version of purging instead of projecting, right? And so your intention is, your intuition, I should say, is going to get a lot more heightened right now. Probably you've all been feeling really sensitive, and that's partially why, right? All of you on this call, and there's a lot of you on here that are empaths. You're going to be super sensitive right now. You're probably feeling a lot of this. And so it's a really good time for you. If you're not an empath as well, take a salt bath. Put your feet in a salt bucket, which I've taught a lot of you about. It's on my Instagram. It's on many of my pages. You can go look for it. Put your feet in salt water, put your whole body in a salt bath, write it down, burn it, release it is kind of what's going on right now, okay? Now, some people keep asking me about the symptoms. The physical symptoms that are coming up, a lot of people go, I'm so exhausted right now. Is this why? Yes, this is why. Your DNA, guys, everybody has a hard time thinking that the universe could be shifting your DNA. We're rising from a 3D heavy density energy to a 4D, 5D higher, lighter vibration, okay? In order to do that, we got to go through this rebirth, which is happening, and let go of heavy, dense energy, okay? So your DNA and cellular makeup is lightening. It's releasing all this heavy, dense BS, okay? And so you're lightening up just like the planet is lightening up, all right? And thus death and rebirth process is happening right now that Scorpio is asking for. So some of you who are really empathic and hypersensitive, you're going to feel maybe these are some of the experiences I'm watching people feel. I specifically feeling the tingling, kind of like zings in your energy, zings like almost like something's crawling on your leg or your arms or something. These zings, this is your nervous system feeling this energetic shift. And so the nervous system is kind of zinging you a little bit. It doesn't hurt. It's not hurting you. There's nothing wrong with you. I constantly am like, oh my God, is there a bug on me? It's not. It's the zing of your energy, DNA shifting, okay? Cellular DNA shifting. That's it. It will clear. Ears ringing, yes, ears ringing. Weird old aches might be popping up, and then all of a sudden they're gone, and you're like, wait a minute, where'd that go? Okay, some people are fired up. Exactly. I've been super energetic, right? Head pressure. I've been dealing with kind of a light headache for the last 24, 48 hours. And it's nothing major, but it's like this pressure on you because your head, your body, your cells are trying to purge, okay? Salt cravings you might be picking up. Salt attracts water. Water is what the body is trying to do to make it more vibrational. What vibration and sonar do better with the more fluid water that you have, okay? So salt cravings, earth food, you might be craving. Earth food would be anything from the earth, like root vegetables. Think of it like that. A potato would be a good example. I love beets, things that come from the earth. Just think of a root. Weird stuff like that, okay? And everybody's like, what's wrong with me? Like, all I could think about for the last couple of days, and I wasn't putting my head together on the full moon. I knew it was coming. We were going to talk about this, but all I could think about was French fries. And I was like, what? Salt French fries, right? And then I was like, oh. So I went and got a baked potato, and then I salted it up and gave myself buttery and all the things that it was asking for. So it will pass, but my tip is feed your body what it asks for and let it have it. If it needs rest, sleep. If it's zinging you, wake up. If it's giving you these cravings, feed it. That's it. That's how simple this gets, okay? Listen to your body. It's talking to you. Okay, so message from my guides. Go on the grid. I pour my bucket of hearts on all of you. And the message was burning and birthing, which was no surprise. But I saw fires all over. And then it was funny because my message was like this baby, the baby was coming out of the birth canal, and it was a baby phoenix, right? And so basically the phoenix is opening its wings, right? It's ready to fly. It wants to be birthed. And so between the full moon on this Scorpio, okay, today, and then the next day, Pluto is going to go retrograde, which is the ruling planet of Scorpio. Okay, so the next day we're going to go through again another rebirth. This rebirth that's happening is so much Scorpio energy on top of Taurus. I'm not going to go there because there's so much going on. All right. And so it's been a long year, guys, of waking you all up to your inner truth. All right. And so this is the truest moment of checking your level of self-awareness. Are you aware of you? Do you know you? Did you investigate you? Did you take the time to check out you? Not out there. I kept telling you, turn that shit off. Look at you, right? So what does self-awareness mean? It means not the planets, not the government, not medicine, not your family, not your school, not the spouse, not your kid's fault. You or your past lives or your past life trauma is appearing. That's it. Your energy, your trauma, nobody else's. Okay? So it's your karma that's up for clearing right now, and it's here and it's now. That's it. So what's really cool is it means that all of you need to kind of become more aware of you. And this is awesome, right? Like, be mindful of your crap, because that's what's coming up. The baggage and the BS to take back your power and going, ooh, why is that back? It's not back. It's just asking you, are you ready? So that's what, again, men, women, you either had to listen to the women or you were part of it, or women, you're here. And it feels like childbirth, right? The painfulest blessing you can imagine. Blessing, but it's painful. That's what we're going through right now. The whole planet, not one of you, all of you. Okay. So the pain is birthing a new life. That's the best I can describe with this whole burning and birthing. Okay. Childbirth is painful, but it's incredible all at once. And it's that experience that's happening. And it's going to be painful at some levels for some of you that you have never expected to come up, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen quick. And then it's going to go, oh, I'm gone. So I want you to focus on the outcome that you are desiring for what part of your life tonight, when we go through this call, that needs a new life. What part of your life needs new life birthed tonight? The phoenix is opening its wings. Where will it fly? Cycles of completion and culmination are happening right now because of this Scorpio energy. It's earning the fruits of your labor. You've worked so hard for the last year and a half, 18 months to get this together, okay? So it's the best time for you guys to start letting go of resentment and old baggage, all that crap, emotional and physical, okay? So this is your repeating baggage being put to bed, that crap that just keeps coming up. It's people like keep asking me the same question, like, why does this keep repeating? This wasn't a singular experience for you guys. None of this is. So if you ever hear yourself I've done this too, right? You hear yourself saying, why do I keep doing this? Right? I know better. I know better than doing this, and I keep doing this, right? And my simple answer is that you are all releasing the similar trauma that has played out multiple times or lifetimes of over and over and over. And so it needs to be released in multiple layers or multiple moments. Okay. It's like an onion. All right. Think of it that way. And your heart's in the center of the onion. We discussed this so many times in the last year, right? If you had a tsunami of change, you would be more traumatized from not having this new life of intention to prepare for. It's very traumatic, right? So the repeating of pulling the layers back is basically God kind of giving you like a gentle nudge and a push to do it in layers. Now, some of you this year and or in your life may have gotten a major tsunami. It's like, and it forced you like to make this sudden 2000% immediate change overnight, and here it is, and you have no choice, right? That happens. And I've had several of them, right? And it's not for the faint-hearted. So if you're not like one of those people who are going, bring it on and bring it on all now, and I can handle it, it's going to be very rough on you. So when people are upset that it keeps happening, I'm like, you're being given the option to peel it away. And so your spiritual faith must be so intact right now to trust that there's a highway of change happening, and you don't get to just merge nice and gently. Sometimes those tsunamis come and they literally force you to take a hard left. Okay. But you have to keep moving. There are no options of choice. You just must go and start new. That's where we're at. So whatever's appearing for you, whether it's the onion, or it's a tsunami, right? I want you to think of it as it's that you're all ready to release. Okay. You're all ready for this. It's healed. You guys are healed. Your DNA is feeling it. Your cells are feeling it. You are no longer in sync with this old BS vibe. It's done. So onion or tsunami, guys, wherever you're releasing, it's happening, and it's okay in any version. Okay. It's okay in any version that you're getting it. Some of you are like, I don't want this. It's like little doses. It's like pins poking at me. That's why. And some of you, because you're only ready for small doses, some of you, it was a huge wake up. Okay. So it can be similar. It can show up in like repeating old relationships are showing up. You're like, oh no, what are they doing back? Right? Or repeating physical pain, repeating old lifestyle choices that you consciously, know you no longer want, but it keeps showing back up, and you keep repeating them unconsciously, right? Now you're all waking up and you're like, no, like, I don't want to go back again. And it's not going back. It's more likely just a memory that's appearing, or a short conversation, or an experience that pops in and says, hey, are you sure? Right? Are you sure? And you're like, yep, I'm sure. go away for good. That's what's happening. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of you. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, you are all incredibly perfect and brilliant, and this is happening exactly the way it's supposed to. But many of you are feeling super strong spiritual, physical, social, emotional pain right now, and it's okay. Okay? It's purging old BS trauma. And some of you, it's from thousands of lifetimes to step into this new field of consciousness, a conscious life, to wake up. Okay. And what does it mean to be awake? This is it. It means questioning everything that doesn't let you choose for yourself what you want. That's what being awake means. So remember, you all picked your parents. When this all goes back to God energy, source energy, right? To our young childlike energy. When we were born, you were a soul that came in to be here. And you're here right now. You picked your parents, and you picked them to poke you to be stronger than they were. You picked them for that reason. People tell me, I did not pick those parents. You did. And so you picked them so you could see where they struggled. So not to judge them, not that they did it wrong, because they did not. They did not do it wrong. Your love and your truth is to show them how to cut their trauma tripwire that they didn't know how. Okay? You stop the tripping of the repeated thunderstorms from your history, thousands of years of history. You can see your family history and your soul signature. You have the power to calm repeating family storms and bring the sun and bring the lighthouse, right? You have to show up as this lighthouse. You have to choose not to repeat their grandparents' BS and your grandparents' BS and your parents' BS. And now for the 1,000th, 2,000th time, repeat your repeating BS or not. You can repeat it, and I'm totally okay with that. I love you anyway, right? I love you anyway, but you choose to repeat it or not. This is what I've been trying to prep you all for, okay? The greatest spiritual awakening in history, and I mean thousands, millions of years, okay? The planets are shifting with us, and that's why they're showing us pictures of what it looks like in here so we can work on it in here. And if you're heavy, it's likely because you're in fear mode, right? And you're like letting go of being told how to live like a robot. And we've been doing it for thousands of years. And we've just kind of forgot that soul amnesia, right? The amnesia, it took over, and you forgot about the universal energy that you are, that this source energy that you are. But you were a robot, and it got programmed. It got programmed how to follow the rules that aren't yours, that don't keep you sovereign, right? You got programmed how to be sick and not have power over to how to heal yourself. You got programmed to be box educated, to accept a middleman to connect to source energy, to spend your money in places that is not for your highest good, how to fear others instead of loving them. That's the crappy programming you got. And that's the small level. Okay. And so this awakening it's not interesting anymore. How we used to live. And I know all of you are here right now. You're like, I'm just not interested in any of that anymore. It doesn't make sense. This is the time for all of you to birth your new life. Okay. To birth your new life into the why not life. Okay. I want you to think about healing immediately. If you could heal immediately and completely forever all your generational wounds, would you do it? Why not have quantum learning at hyperspeed downloads? Would you do it? Why not? Right? Why not talk direct to God and angels and receive transmissions back from them? Why not? Why not connect to higher beings that are helping us all the time? Why not? Why not learn to see those other beings that you could finally see because we're allowed to? Who's letting you? Who's holding you back? Why not learn to understand your soul signature because it's there for you? Why not? Why not spend money where you want it allocated instead of someone else telling you? Why not? This is the why not birth you guys are all in right now, okay? And I've been very gentle with all of you guys this year. In the last year and a half, I've been so gentle with you up to this point. It's been your safe space for you all to come here. And I'm reminding you that living your truth is all that matters. And it still does. But I need you to remember this, that living in higher states of consciousness, the high zone of the consciousness scale instead of the low zone, okay? It's all that matters from this point forward. So let me be clear, living in fear is dead. This is the whole burning and death and rebirth that's happening. It's now a matter of choice of your new life, of birthing your new life. Okay. Now, granted, many of you did not choose this, right? And many of you did not choose you didn't know that you had a choice to make a different life. You just didn't know. You thought it would be rebelling. You thought it would be uncomfortable. You thought you would get in trouble. But I'm telling you that the universe, source, God, higher dimensional energy, higher beings, they respond. Source energy responds to your choices, especially now and especially today. Guys, I'm so fired up because this energy is so intense. And if you miss it, it can't hurt you, but you can miss it because you're hiding in where the programming's been, okay? So if you ever wanted to choose you, this is the time, okay? To choose what you want. And help others being the brightest lighthouse possible. They will do the same. They will go, I want to be a lighthouse just like that. Like you, you're so bright and shiny. What do you want? Choose it. Not from anger anymore, but from love and intentions. This big statement of intention. Just like I had reminded you guys last time, what was your sonar? What was your DNA? What are you pinging out as your dolphin self, right? What were you pinging out as that dolphin self? Because my Dolly dolphin, my husband and I have been laughing all week with our dolphin talk because we've been sharing sonar, right? And so what's happening is it's fascinating. Everyone's telling me like, well, that just sounds so easy, Dawn, right? Like, but I'll get in trouble, right? And if I just do what I want. From who, right? No, you won't. This is what's irritating me. And I'm like super feisty right now, but it's like, who's going to get you in trouble? Like, what are you going to get in trouble for from the spiritual gods? No, that is not how the law of attraction works, you guys. That's not how the law of this is universal law. And if you try new and you get pushback, you just try your soul's blueprint. I promise it did not come here with a mistake. Okay. You get pushback, then you find another way and then you do it again. And if someone is doing something, just think of it this way. If so many people are doing something the same, it's probably not the expanded way, because the programmed robot way isn't working anymore. And so those of you who are coming out, there are a lot of you, I want you to look for a better way, because I guarantee you there's a tribe out there just like you choosing the exact same expansion. I guarantee. But because we are a collective consciousness community, we want to connect instead of being disconnected. What do you think you're being taught to do? Excuse me. All right. So anything, I want you to think of it this way. Anything that separates you from others, not conscious. Anything that says you cannot be healed, not conscious. Anything that says there's only one way, that's not conscious. Anything that says you're dumb or you don't know what you're talking about, not conscious. Anything that says you need someone else to help you connect to God or source, not conscious. Anything that tells you that you need to work your brains out and have very little energy or money or resources to live, not conscious. They are not higher consciousness beings, and they are blocked. By simply choosing, you want to block them from your energy field, you have to simply choose an expanded consciousness thought. That's it. What is my bigger way of being? Write it down. What would your dream life look like? What would a fairy tale life look like? And I know that sounds weird, right? But think fairy tale, like how amazing could it be? Because you must create it in your mind. So the holographic universe that we live in, the holograph meaning everything is a mirror of you, can match your sonar from within. And if you missed last week's call on sonar, go listen to it. We talked about how you have to ping the energy out into the universe. It comes from in here. So don't think that pressured situations aren't going to pop up. They are. They're happening right now for you. They are going to arrive. But your expanded consciousness is what creates like a remedy faster than ever before. And this is a power manifesting time. And so the remedy is going to come quicker. This is the spiritual awakening. Welcome to the spiritual awakening, you guys. We're here. And this is the greatest time in history to be alive. I'm telling you, this is insanely amazing. And this is fifth dimension consciousness coming alive. And everybody keeps asking, what is it? This is it. Choice. But you must break all that you wish to end and trust your truth. Trust your soul signature. Okay, so I often get asked, how do you know if whatever you're learning is true for you or not? Okay, and so they ask me, how do you know, Dawn, for you? Like, how do you know if it's true or not? I don't. I only know if it's true for me. I don't know if it's a truth or not for someone else. And that's how I need you to look at this. It's either, here are your two options of consciousness when we talked about power and force, ego or God. That's it. Ego is unconscious. God, source energy, is conscious. Force, you force it to be a certain way because that's what your ego learned, or you're in power because you have faith and source energy will guide you always to the right, highest way to live. How does it make me feel? That's what I ask when people ask me all the time, do you think this is right or not? And I'm like, I don't know. I literally have to do a gut check. Am I trusting Harriet? So I call ego your shadow beast. Those of you who haven't done personal work with me, you can get it on video form or private form in some of my group work. You can even get it actually in the toolbox. The couples toolbox has how to know. Well, I don't know if I talk about the shadow beast in there, but your shadow beast is your ego. Okay. And my ego is called Harriet. So I call her Harriet, and she's very mean, very ugly, and she turns into a beast, right? So when your ego is in charge, your ego tells you you're not good enough, you're not a good enough mom, you're not a good enough teacher, you're not a good enough, employee, you're not a good enough spouse, you're not good enough to go out and heal your body, you don't have the power, you're not strong enough for that. Who do you think you are? You're an idiot, you're dumb. Whatever you learned programmed when you were young, ego will fight to keep that programming alive because ego is subconscious. Source energy is conscious. Source, God, source energy is loving and pure and believing and expansive, okay? So when you're forcing childhood ego conditioning, you're in ego. And when you're empowering in faith and God will provide bigger solutions that ego doesn't like, and it scares the crap out of it. So whatever you call God, whatever you call source energy, that's where it comes from. Okay. So people ask me all the time, how do you know if it's true or not? I ask my guides to show me. I need to know this thing that I'm wondering, should I do this or not? Right? Then I go research to find out. Should I take the jab or not? Should I wear the mask or not? Is this true for me or not? Should I revisit this old worn out relationship or not? Should I upgrade to a new job or not? Should I change to a new health regimen or not? Angels, please show me ways to upgrade my life. Source, God, universe, whatever you want to ask for, right? But that's it. You just need to ask. I don't wait. I ask for source. Something's not right about this. It just doesn't feel powerful. It feels forced. Ego, God, is ego running me? Then I know if I'm forcing something, it means it's ego, and Harriet does not get to win. I call her Harriet. You can call her whoever you want. Okay? But if source energy and I feel powerful and I feel strong and I feel confident, that's how I feel good doing that, then it's truth for you. And so I literally make a choice and I look for spirit to use my actions to fill it with clarity. And they do every time. Source always does. So everyone, if you want to start throwing out your personal truth in the chat and you need guidance from spirit, I can tell you how they open up, right? But I want you all to see how special and valuable you are, right? You're all shining your soul signature to the world, and the soul is shining this signature, and the universe is saying, yes, tell them that, share them with what your powerful truth is. We'll help you, but you're afraid because the old program, what if they think this of me? What if they think bad of me? That's ego. Ego cares what everybody thinks. Your truth is bigger than that. Today, you guys, you need to raise your level of self-awareness. It's important. It's a time to open up and start researching, you guys, new ways to live. And it could be so basic. Maybe it's something as simple as like, hey, I'm going to start a new keto diet, right? It could be that. Or a paleo diet. Or I'm going to start just eating vegan food. Or I'm just going to eat clean. Maybe it's that tiny and basic, right? Or maybe it's sound therapy. I don't know what sound therapy. I heard about it today. Maybe it's light therapy. Maybe it's vagus nerve stimulation. Never heard of that before, right? Maybe you got to do that. Maybe it's adding trace minerals to your diet. Maybe it's simply slowing down and slowing your movement and learning to be quiet. Maybe it's learning how the body works. Maybe it's learning more about the science and the anatomy of the body and how it really functions and that nervous system. Maybe it's just eating organic herbs from earth. Maybe it's how your maybe your spiritual messengers, learning how they communicate. Who are they? How the quantum field can heal you instantly. Maybe you got to learn about that. What is Kundalini energy? What is the dark night of the soul? Shifting. A lot of you are feeling that right now. A lot of you are going through the dark night of the soul right now. Okay. What about your DNA and the universal codes? What do they look like? This is the sort of list that I tell people to start opening up to. What if? Why not? It's ready to explore, but it won't happen until you say, yes, I want to go bigger. I want to know more. I want to know how to change my DNA so I'm in power. I'm in source energy, not in fear, control energy, forcing life. It's time to choose your now expansion. Sonar now. How do you want that out? Okay. So if I send this wish out now, what will it be? What is that wish? Okay. All right, guys. Sorry, you guys have questions coming in here. Let's see if I can help you out with a couple of them. Yes. Cool. Okay. An example of how to take advantage of this full moon. Example, how to be loved when surrounded by fear and vaccines. So see, this person is saying, I don't want the vaccine. I don't want the jab. Then my answer is that's her truth. And what's interesting is a lot of you have heard people who have taken, that's okay too. That is their truth. And it needs to be okay to be their truth. And you have to stand in this truth and saying they weren't afraid of it. They were in power there. That was okay for them. And that's where you have to go. Are you living in ego saying that's wrong, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad? Well, that means you're deciding from an ego place and not in a source place for you, not for them. You have to get into a place where you're open enough to go, I have to know only for me. Am I living in God or ego? I call it beast. Are you in God or beast mode, right? Who's winning you? Who's driving your submarine ship or your dolphin, right? And if you're living in source mode, God mode, or you're living in beast mode, which is ego mode, the beast will take you down every time and make you feel shitty about every choice you made. I had a client that I spoke with today, and she's really struggling with a child. Okay. And the child's really struggling with some addiction and some abuse issues. And she was like, what happens? What happens if he doesn't make it? And this person, I wanted her to understand that, you know what? That means you don't have faith that God knows how to take care of him better than you do. No one wants to lose a child. No one wants to be put in this horrific place. But we have to get into that place of trusting that God will take care of it. What if I die? God will take care of it. Source, higher divine energy knows the best answer for me. And I'm prepping all of you who are afraid of death. When your ex is on the map, guys, there is no stopping it. So if you're meant to stay here for 100 more years, I'm telling you, I don't care if you're already almost 80 and you're going to be here for another 100, you're here for 180 years. There is no stopping it. And it's very hard to wrap your brain around the ascension, which is 180. This is a bigness. If you all knew astrology and you looked at a real astrology map, an astrology chart, you'd all realize you're all supposed to be here for 150 years, technically on the chart. But someone somewhere programmed your robot that you're only supposed to live till 65, and that's when it starts getting bad and you're going to get sick. So your programming is like, I got to get ready. I'm getting old. That's BS. You're not old. You're just starting. Actually, you're starting a new cycle on an astrology chart, an amazing new cycle at 60. That's the best cycle you're in. Wisdom, talent, brains, it's all starting at 60. Why would we give up then? But they do, because they call it retirement-ish, right? We have to think out of the box. You'll have to start breaking these cycles and going, you know what? Energetically, I have to have inside of this DNA shifting, cellular memory, am I going to expand into source energy or am I going to play programming of ego beast energy? You have two options right now. And I am prepping you guys. You're going to have to go within and say, all right, the best answer you can ask yourself is, what would God do? Would God take does God need a vaccine? You probably go, not sure if I should do that. I don't know that. I don't know how I would answer that, right? Doesn't mean if you did, it's bad. It really doesn't mean at all. It just means that it won't affect you and it'll keep you in a place of safety. And that's okay. Those of you who didn't, you're still unaffected because it doesn't matter. Those of you who are asking about the jab, some of you are asking about, health issues. If you can't think beyond what your powerful source cellular energy can do, it's going to be very hard to advance yourself to the next stage. Because if you looked at a chart the way I look at it, you'd all see you're supposed to be here for 150 years. I thought my husband was funny. I was like, oh, I'm going to be at least 125 years old. He's probably right. He will be the 150 because his mind already sees it that way. He doesn't question it. He sees that's the life already. He's ramped up to live. His body will cellularly prepare for that to keep him strong and healthy for that many years. That's what's cool about this. Okay, so let me get into some of the tips. Tonight's tips: Scorpio, death and rebirth. You're in it right now. What does your new life look like? The new life that you're birthing, guys, what does it look like? Write it down. And I mean, go big. If you could imagine it, would it be cool to just think about my body being healthy and strong and powerful, or getting into a med bed? If you don't know what a med bed is, Google it, research it, find out, ask me about it. Ask who you know about it. Go bigger. Repeating pain and experiences are popping up. Number 2, repeating pain and experiences energetically are popping up for you to end them, not to revisit and stay in them, just to end them, okay? Number 3, what would you need to know to live your truth? If someone tells you you can't do that, no, that's not the way it's got to be. You're not going to be safe. That's not how the group rules. Break out of it. What information do you need to know? Ask your guides. They will deliver it into your lap. What do you need to know to break the bond so you can be free into the new life? What do you need to know? They will show you. Number 4, is it ego or is it the beast or is it source? Is it ego energy or source energy you're living? Am I living in faith and trust and truth? Or am I living in fear because ego's saying you're a bad mom, you're a bad employee, you're a bad parent, you're terrible at education, you can't take the test, you're gonna fail, you're never gonna make it. Are you living in that truth? Because that truth is such BS. And that is the thousands of generations you're ending tonight. You're ending it. It's done. Okay? So are you living in ego or God? 2 options. Power, or are you forcing crap to be a certain way? It's not going to be that way anymore. Okay? So do you trust your ninny beast, that ninny kind of whining on you, or source energy? Everybody tap right here. Tap your chest. This is your thymus. It's going to stimulate all that nervous system that I kept talking about. You're all feeling the tingling and it feels like bugs crawling on you. That's your nervous system reawakening to what it knows. It's that amnesia. I am courage. I am love. Keep tapping. I am courage. I am love. I want you to keep doing this for the next week until we get out of this heavy, intense Scorpio energy. I am courage. I am love. Thymus thump. Tap it hard. If you really want to know if it's awake, use your knuckles. Really rub it. And if it's sore, you know that your system needs to get woken up, and rub it every day. That's why I tell you guys to use this during shower talk. By the way, I uploaded the audio, and if it's not there, I will go redo it again. It was supposed to upload, but it didn't go in perfectly. So someone had asked me about the audio for shower talk on my website. It's there, but it dropped. And so if it's not, remind me and I will go check it, because it was just got re-uploaded. Okay. Question I'm going to leave you with tonight, and then you guys can open up the floor for questions. What topic in my life needs to birth a new life? Guys, this is Scorpio Phoenix energy. Scorpio rules the Phoenix. What topic in your life, not what topic in someone else's life, not what someone else is doing, not bullshit that your family or your parents or your brother-in-law or your sister-in-law or your, I don't know, your neighbor, that nosy neighbor, none of that. Okay. I don't care what anyone externally is doing in this little bubble. If you could live your most amazing, best life, and you could dream it up bigger than you've ever imagined, what would it look like? What in your life needs to birth a new life? Could it be your health, your wealth, your emotions, your spirituality, your intuition? All of it. Okay. So I want you guys start throwing in the comments parts of your life that you're going to start rebirthing. I want to hear them. And then I'm going to answer some questions that are coming in here. Okay. You guys syncing with me here on this? I tried to leave some time for extra questions. How many of you are feeling any physical symptoms of this? Okay. How many are you feeling the emotional symptoms of all this? How many of you are feeling the fact that it's time to birth something new into your life, and it's scaring the absolute shit out of you, right? It is. Okay. So questions coming in. Let me answer you this. Let's see. It says, why do we fear letting go when it's good for us? Because it's the unknown, right? This is really good for tonight, right? This goes back to ego and God, right? This goes back to a beast scaring the crap out of you and telling you how it's like a bully, right? That's what the shadow beast is. It's like a bully bullying you. And source energy, which is God energy, source God energy, is like, which one do you trust? That's why we're afraid to move on, because we know it's good for us. It's because you have to question your faith in source, right? Am I trusting my beast, or am I trusting source? Am I trusting ego, which wants it safe and controlled? Or am I trusting source, going, I don't care what it is. All I know is I want that. I want a bigger life. I want a healthier life. I want to have all these opportunities to be able to see a better life. What is it? Financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, a new house, a dream home off grid, I'm keep telling my husband, he's getting me this dream home off grid. I don't want it plugged in. So who might be a little more helpful in this instant to help you get that? Okay, so let's see, someone else is coming in. My writing, I'm rebirthing my writing. Awesome. My marriage, and yes, I'm feeling symptoms. So we're all feeling the symptoms, guys. I get it. I'm feeling them too, right? Work. So someone's going to rebirth work, right? Better health, freedom, spirituality. So putting those on paper, I want you to guys write your writing down. I want you to put your marriage down on paper, because remember, we're in a full moon. So write it down. What it is you're going to rebirth something new into it. And I want you to write your work down. I want you to write your health down. I want you to write freedom down. I want you to write your spirituality down. And then I want you to say, spirit guides, call them angels. Angels, they don't care what you call them. They really don't. Unless you go to like my spiritual warrior retreat, which we're going to reset it. We're going to make it into chunks now, so it's easier for people to attend instead of a whole weekend retreat. I'm changing it. But point being is that if you don't know your guides' names, and you can't talk to Jing or Khalil or Answara and all my guides, right? If you don't know their names, you can just say guides or angels. Just say angels. I could use a little bit of help here. Could you show me how to raise my spirituality? Hey, could you show me how to raise my freedom? I feel very controlled in a box right here. How do I get out of it? And you're going to start getting it online, a random thought. Someone's going to say something to you. You're going to meet someone and they're going to tell you something. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even know I could do that. You sure can. There's the freedom opening up. Oh, I didn't know I could do that for my health. And someone says, yeah, you should try this. It really will help. And it's fast. It'll improve your health. Your guides, all you have to do is say, I'd like to do this more, and they will drop it into your lap. All you need to do is ask. I would like to write this. Okay, angels, help me. Show me what I need to do to write that. And it starts showing up. Okay, I am having faith. I have fears, but I am trusting in God. So what are the fears for this rebirth, Jamie? That's what I want to know. When you're in fear, that means you're trusting ego more than you trust in source. That's really what it is. And ego says, I'm very programmed from childhood to remember that when I did this, I got in trouble. That's what ego is. Ego is from young childhood programming, and all of you are birthing a new baby, right? A baby phoenix is coming out of you tonight. So if the baby phoenix is coming out of you, it says, no, we don't have to have all that programming. Okay, and so the unknown scares her. So now we have to say, spirit, angels, guardian angels. Okay, I need to be not afraid of the unknown. So show me what my next step is. And that next step will show up for her. And she'll go do that. This is the 30-minute now, Jamie. You need to work on it for 30 minutes right now and not worry about where you're going. All you have to do is make it bigger. All of you have to make this bigger. Okay, going bigger is why we're stuck, because we're so programmed to play in boxes that you don't even question bigger. You're not even thinking about bigger. But bigger is your only option. It's the only option if you want to. Do you want to keep living in the box, or do you want to go bigger? Okay, next question coming in. Hold on a second. Let's see, it says, I believe I am evolving quickly, but then I keep getting those thoughts that it should take a while, or, ooh, this is good, or happen after months or years. How do I let that programming go? Perfect answer. Okay, so the perfect question or answer to this question, and it's a really good statement she made, right? I've been told you have to work hard, you have to study, you have to do it black and white. And what she doesn't consider is that she's having faith in spirit and going, some things she has to learn need to go slow. And some things that she's not even considering, she needs to open up and say, angels, God, source, show me what I need to do right now to speed up this process. What would help me improve this process? And when I'm ready, I'll be ready. Now, she might be in a hurry, like a lot of us were, but I want you all to remember that the speed we're in right now, if it took her 3 years and it took her 30 years to get where she is, 3 years is nothing. But we have such a time and space continuum that we're so stuck on time, we forget that 3 years is a blink of an eye compared to 30. And so instead of having faith of 3 years is a pretty fast timeline of setting up her future and her goals and opening up to a bigger, more badass life, she's programmed of having it tomorrow. Okay. I don't want to feel like I'm holding myself back because of those programs. So just talking about holding yourself back is holding yourself back. And talking yourself, this is what ego's doing. So see, her beast, her shadow beast, as I call it, is going, oh, see, she's laughing. So she's like, oh, I'm going to just talk about because it's holding me back. Maybe I am holding me back. That's her beast going, oh, please, please don't go way out there because I like safety and control. I like to control everything. And the beast is saying, no, 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 it's going too fast. I'm not ready for all this because I've learned order and structure and control and the way I live my life. And if you go out there, that's not how everybody does it. She is very much out of the box in her industry. So she just needs to let it show up because I promise it will show up. So you just thinking about the programs is what's getting you in trouble, as opposed to just going, no, I'm open to the next step. I'll know. And I'm open to the next step. Then I'll know. And when the next one's ready, I'll know. Write down what you want that future to look like. And I promise it will show up. Okay, I've been working on 30-minute now. I really appreciate that. So guys, the 30-minute now is just living for 30 minutes and doing what you're going to do right now. A lot of times I'll say, angels, if I'm going to do this right now. And if I'm supposed to do something else, guide me. If I'm supposed to read something else, if I'm supposed to change what I'm reading right now. What was interesting is I'm a big reader, right? And so a lot of times I'll read stuff that typically will even be like nonfiction to keep my mind off of it, off of overthinking, overdoing, and I'll read a lot of like self-help and self-development, and it's overwhelming, right? And so then I get to the point where like, I just need to decompress. I want to go read. Well, then I'd had a headache and I wanted to decompress, but I couldn't. So it was funny because the angels and spirit, I kept saying, what do I need to do to kind of calm my soul right now? And spirit was like, you're not going to read, you're going to read nothing. So it put me in this phase of, that's how basic I'm trying to get you guys. It will put you in a phase of even just nothingness for a while. So then I found this goofy show on Netflix and my daughter was making fun of me. She said, Mom, that's not even a B movie. That's like a C or a D movie. And it wasn't even like Hallmark or anything, but it was just cute and lighthearted. So I was like, oh, this is where I need to be right now. So I didn't put too much energy into it other than just slowing down, because once I ramped back up, it would fill back in. Okay. So that's what's important. All right. So, okay, cool. So I'll have to work on sonar I'm putting out around that. Absolutely. We have to, guys, all I want you to do tonight is take from this call is, am I living in ego, which is in fear and forcing life to be a certain way? I'm forcing the timeline. I'm forcing it. I'm worried. I'm forcing, I'm not doing it fast enough. Wait, I'm not doing it fast enough. But no, wait, I got to think about, I'm worried about the programming will hold me back. That's force. Or am I living in source energy, which is power? Am I standing in my power and I'm constantly filling myself with wisdom and knowledge and expansion? Then you're in power. That's how basic. You can call it force or power, or you can call it ego, not awake. Power, which is source energy, awake. That's basic. Not awake, awake. God is awake. God keeps you awake. And you'd say, oh, would God do this? Oh, God probably wouldn't do that. Probably gives you some insight where to go and ask for research to help you make that choice. Okay. Do we use the words I am open, or do we use I am ready? Is there any difference, or is the intention powerful enough? The intention is all you need. Guys, this is a big deal. Intention is all you need. All you need to say is, my intention is to be bigger than I am right now. So my intention for all of you, if this helps you. So someone else was saying, look, I feel the tingles and sometimes the heat in the spot of my body for a minute and that goes away. Guys, you need to pay attention to this. This is your DNA, it's so cool. And so I'm going to connect these two questions that just came together. Okay, so when you're feeling the tingles, your nervous system is literally being woken up to thousands and thousands of years ago, where it already knew how to heal you. It already knew what to do. It already has DNA codes in it from the universe. It says, we know what to do. You've just been living in this controlled, programmed ego state that is afraid to get bigger because it didn't know it could. All right. And so when she talks about intention, is there any difference? No, the intention is, and I'll use my examples that might help all of you. My intention was on this full moon, okay? It was basically, I'm not going to allow my poor programming of health to live here within this body of cellular memory anymore. So anytime something will come up, I'm like, oh, no, Harriet. And again, I call her Harriet the ego beast, right? That shadow beast. She's that standing behind there. You're not good enough, right? And the joke of it is I'm like, no, we aren't playing that anymore. I'm not feeding you any negative morsels of cookies anymore. Not happening. And so what happens is when that came up for this full moon, I knew it was about putting closure to all of that and saying, my body, my cells, my DNA is going to get so expanded that it's going to be completely blasted open to this crown of bringing the glass, the crystal ball in, clearing out all memory, all sound, all heart and memory DNA, opening up this entire spinal column of DNA chakra, of DNA, of codes, of light codes, all the codes of the universe are going to reset. And that was my intention. It didn't have to be like which code and which lifetime. I don't care. I just want to clear all of my ancestral DNA. Might have happened 50,000 years ago. I have no idea. I don't care. Nor do you care. All you care about is that your system is waking up. And that if pains are showing up and they're disappearing, you're like, ooh, this is good. I purged another one. That's the onion going, oh, another layer opened up and it's kind of like a little one popped out. And then another part of the layer opens up. And then another onion layer goes, oh, there's another one that popped out of there. Does that make sense? So don't overthink the tingles and the little painful spots if they're only there for a minute or an hour or a day. I've had 2 days of headaches and all of a sudden they just kind of started like getting stronger and then they dissipated and they're kind of ebbing and flowing a little bit. So it just doesn't matter. Does that help you guys see this from a different level? Source, ego, okay? If you're low on self-awareness, guys, and you're not working with me direct or you're not in these calls, it's very easy to go find that out. At least go find out who you are in your soul blueprint. Go do your iPod and your sonar. You can get it in the couples toolbox on my website. You can get it in the IDI Academy and the digital training. It's so powerful. And what happens is when you start looking within and seeing yourself, you can go, oh, no, that's all ego. That's all childhood ego stuff. And instead, it's time for you to start opening up and saying, no, I'm ready to start opening the door. I'm ready to open the door to a higher consciousness and raise my consciousness, because consciousness is being awake to source energy. And source energy wants you big. Source energy wants you for 150 years. I'm going to break. That's the bubble I'm breaking for all of you. You're like, oh, but I don't feel good. Well, you better get to feeling good, because guess what? You're here for another 100 years, because most of you are only about 50 tops. You might be pushing a little bit, maybe 60, 70, but that's it. So you're all here for another 50 years plus. How cool is that? And anyone who has told you any different, they're lying. They're not telling you the truth, and they are not conscious. That's it. It doesn't make them bad. Okay. It does not make them negative, and you do not. And again, someone's like, I have so much to do. No, you don't. You just have to go have fun. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. She said so much fun to have. Oh, she's so much fun. You guys go have fun. That's what tonight's call is you're finally purging the DNA and the cellular memory of all the trauma and the wounds. It's time to wake up and birth the baby phoenix in you. She's coming alive. This is amazing stuff. And I'm proud of all of you. And I know you guys are going there, because you wouldn't be on this call if you weren't ready to become a bigger you, more badass, powerful source energy, conscious self. When you're awake, you ask yourself, is this in my powerful state? Does this give me power if I do this? And if it feels forced and controlled, it's ego, and it's not for your highest good. If it feels confident and empowering and makes you feel better at what you're doing, even if it's something you don't want to do, but you're like, if I do more of this, actually, I do feel really powerful when I do it. I don't like doing it, but I will feel better if I do it. That's how simple this gets. But ask Spirit for help. I guarantee you they will give you a text. They will give you something on TV, on social media, something. Again, I don't want you watching TV, but if it's a show or a movie or something, a message will come through. And you will know that's what you've been looking for. And I guarantee you, you will start getting blessings and having a dialogue with Spirit, and you'll start blasting open your spiritual awareness as well of connecting to Source. And they're all around you, spirit guides, higher beings, higher dimensional beings, the Palladians. All this energy is coming down on us from the galactic center. You just have to put your hands out. And when I'm there, I pour out pink hearts. So put your hands out every day. And I will see you all. If you are all done with questions, looks like you are. I'm giving you a couple minutes. I will see you on Monday. Please don't waste the full moon. Go write down your biggest badass life you can imagine right now. Go burn it and hand it up to the universe and live your best self. Live your best life. I will see you guys soon. Brightest blessings, everyone. Thank you. Have a good night.